Thanks, Ron. But we've got the tribute cars and the invited cars out again, which is it's really good. One of the VHRR initiatives for Winton this weekend. So these cars are not fifth category historically correct. They're a tribute to one of the cars from the era, which is really good. Some of these cars are old Commodore Cup cars, which have been converted across, which is some good use of a car that and a category that doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's always good to drag the cars out of the garage, and they've probably been gathering a bit of dust over the years, and give them a bit of whiz around up here at Winton.
Yeah, exactly. So the Alan Moffat's Coca-Cola Mustang there. Anyone here at Winton hasn't had a look at it, go down and have a look how well presented and accurately correct it is. It's a beautiful car. Had a bit of an issue yesterday, but he's got it back on the track, and he'll have a great time. Hayden Ivers. So
yes, beautifully presented cars, as all of the cars here, of course. They're, as I said earlier on, any show and shine event, they'd probably win a trophy for their presentation, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that Mustang, as you say, has got all the right numbers, the Alan Moffat number 9 on a bit of a jaunty angle, and the colouring and all that looks just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Hayden's done a great job with that car. The guys will go out under the pace car, and then essentially this is the fastest lap that they do. They're racing against themselves, not a race per se. There it is there, the Coca-Cola Mustang. I think Alan Moffat would be rapt to have a look and see how good a job that Hayden's done. It's an exceptional car, and he's got a lot of Alan Moffat's original memorabilia down with him today with his car.
Oh, it's fantastic. So, yes, and Alan, unfortunately, not travelling quite that well these days, but I guess that can happen to a lot of us as we do get a bit older.
Yeah, exactly. The second car along is XA Coupe, which, excuse me, is the Bartlett Goss car from 1973, I think. Great car, XA Coupe. And we've also got invited cars here, which is the IROC Porsche, which is a Danny Hulme tribute.
Yes, he had a bit of a breakdown in the previous event. Did you hear what happened there at all?
Yeah, he said that he thought he'd broken something, but it must have been some tyre pickup or something, and that's, he sort of took a bit cautious. He didn't want to cause any issues out in the track in case it was broken, but he's out there now, and he said it's all well and good.
Probably a few cans rolling around the back.
Yeah.
No, he really has presented that car beautifully.
Yeah, exactly. So, and to a great, one of the world's great drivers, Danny Hulme.
Yep.
The car following it is a Donington Park Mobile VK Commodore. It's a local car to here in Benalla, so Max McKay. And it's a European livery, not the Australian livery, which is, he's chosen something different, which is great. Max is having a great time out there. These cars are not, they're about 75% accurate with some freedoms. They're not like fifth category. And here we've got the Moffat Mustang again. So again, yesterday he was really having a go, but had an issue with the tyre rubbing. But today it seems to be going really well. And this blue car with middies on it is in Frankston Steel. It's actually a Commodore Cup car from Darwin. The owners have brought it down here. It raced recently in the V8 Supercars up in Darwin. And it's a ex-Larry Perkins built Commodore Cup car, so it's got a bit of pedigree.
My word, and Larry, of course, knows how to screw a Holden or two together, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So the car next to it is a tribute to the Citizen Watches car, is to Gary Cook and I can't think of it, Warwick Brown. And that's also an ex-Commodore Cup car. And Travis Kirby from Ballarat's done a fantastic job with that car. It's recently completed. And it's a beautiful stained car to go and look at.
That one looks to be exactly right, doesn't it? Right wheels, right height.
Yeah, he's
level. It just looks like the race car.
Yeah, he's done a really good job.
Whereas some of the other cars, slightly different wheels and things like that what they used to run.
Exactly, and look, as the category sort of grows, people sort of get more and more accurate. In some cases, period parts are not available, but these guys are out having a great time.
And Brett, are you running a car? Are you going to be running a car?
Well, I'm building a car myself, a VK Commodore Group A in the Peter McLeod Glen Clark colours, which was the Auto Parts Centre from 1986. So my car's still under construction, and there's quite a few other cars that are under construction at the moment. There's a local fella who's to Benalla that's purchased a VH Commodore that's building I believe a Rusty French inspired John Sands car.
So it'll be black?
Yes. And then there's a couple of cars that were due to be here, a Dick Johnson XE Falcon, but unfortunately he fell ill. And there was another guy from South Australia with a VH Commodore with tough mounts on it. It also couldn't make it due to illness. But there's quite a few cars under construction throughout the country. People are sort of really getting into it and feel this is a great way to have some fun in a motor car.
My word, it's good. More the merrier, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. So there's also a VL Walkinshaw being produced, or under construction, sorry, at the moment, a red one from down Phillip Island way. So there's some good cars, and there's some other fellas that are talking about Geminis from the period.
Okay,
so going small car. You don't always have to have a big car.
Maybe I should drag a mini out from somewhere.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So the Skyline here, the R31, done in the Gibson Motorsport Jim Richards livery. He's a local fella from Benalla, Ross Wood, and it's a very quick car, well sorted. And,
do the cars have to be done up as like that, or you can have just a plain car?
You could have a plain car, but most of these guys are getting into the theme of what it is.
Yeah, fair enough.
We traditionally had a few of these cars running in the regularity class, but they're a bit big and a bit fast for some of the other regularity cars. So the concept was to put them in their own category, and as the numbers have grown, it's now allowed that.
Yeah.
We may see this as a future VHRR initiative.
Yes.
For Winton, it's been a great initiative, I believe, so it's well received.
That's fantastic. Well, Wood's going pretty well. He
certainly is.
Just on 4 seconds ahead of everybody else. So he's been pretty quick all weekend, hasn't he?
He sure has. Some of these guys, we've got limitations around what they can build, obviously, not being fifth category historic cars, so there is limitations, but they're also not bound by the constrictions of that, form of motorsport.
Sure, yeah.
The Alan Moffat Falcon Coupe here belongs to Graham Stevenson. It's a beautiful car. It's one of the original regularity cars that we had as in VHRR from many years ago.
He was been running around for some time, hasn't he?
He has.
This particular car.
Yeah, and it's a really good car. He's currently building an XD Falcon to, I'm not sure, I think it's a Fitzpatrick XD that he's building.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a car under construction. He says he's going to give this one a bit of a rest.
Yeah, you were saying earlier that 10 years or something has been running around.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't seem that long, does it, really?
No.
I remember when they first sort of came around and they got these cars running.
Yeah, and it's a great colour scheme, that Federation Insurance colour scheme. Again, Alan will be happy with this car as well.
My word, yes. Bring a smile to his face.
Yeah, exactly. The little Escort behind it, he's another one of our regulars, Scott Graham, and that's a quick little car.
Yes, looks the part, doesn't it? Sort
Yeah.
of, with the little flares on the guards and that sort of stuff. Years ago, Alan Mann, of course, was the man that got little escorts and things going very well. Used to have Alan Mann wheel arches; they were the way to go. And,
Yeah.
not sure if I don't think they're a little bit different that one, but that was a well-known brand. If you had Alan Mann equipment on your car,
Sure it was. This car here is it's an old rally car. Paddy Kirby from Ballarat. He's done the Alan Grice, Win Percy, VN Commodore Group A from 91, I think that car would be.
yes.
Yeah, and again, a car that was sitting, and Paddy sort of refurbished it into what it is now, and it's a great car. He has an excellent time with it.
Looks fine.
So
You talked about the great Win Percy, and just getting off this for a moment, but at Phillip Island there a few years ago now, Win was guest driving somebody's D-type Jaguar.
Yep.
I mean, it was priceless sort of motor car, and Win was bringing that thing up onto the main straight at Phillip Island completely sideways with smoke coming off the back wheels. I mean, just everyone was going, "Oh no, don't bend it," you know.
Yeah.
But what a driver!
Yeah.
Fantastic for his day.
yeah, exactly. And like Paddy said, you go through the drivers and you're sort of proud to represent a car that some of these blokes,
Oh yes,
raced.
Yep. Win, of course, put out of action through a farming incident, I
Yeah.
believe, maybe something to do with a tractor or something like that.
Yeah.
But such a shame.
Yeah, and the Falcon here, the XE, is a Bob Morris and John Fitzpatrick Seiko car, and I think that's from about 83, 82, 83, that car would represents with Channel 7 and Seiko.
Wasn't that a sight at Bathurst, that particular event? I think when he ran the Commodore,
Yes.
and the diff was going or something like that, and Fitzpatrick was trying to get it around the circuit without
That'd
losing
be
the race.
76, I think, with the
Yeah.
L34.
That was the one, and Morris has actually got his head buried into perhaps his wife's shoulder or somewhere, crying because he didn't think they were going to get to the finish, but they did.
Yeah, so and Taz, he's from Melbourne, and he's again one of our long-term regular competitors. So, yeah, and it's a nice, well-presented car. Taz has also got another car, but he's not running it this weekend.
Looks like the Seaton Alan Jones type colours of the era, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
And they got the name Jackson on the side, but crossed out all the Peter thing is just appearing a little bit on the edge. I love the Jack Brabham days when he wasn't allowed to advertise on his car, and he was sponsored by Redix, I think it was, and they said, "Oh, well, you've got to tape it up." So he did tape it up with a piece of brown paper and some not too sticky tape.
Ah, right.
And once he got the Cooper Bristol going pretty quick, poof, off went the bits of paper, and then you could see the sponsor's name on the side.
Yeah. Well, the reason this is covered up is cigarette sponsorship's not permitted within,
Of course, yeah.
within classes outside of 5th category.
I heard Bob saying earlier on about in the telecast of previous events, even now, that they actually blur out pixelate the cigarette name.
Yeah. So, look, that's the law and we've got to live with it. So, but, again, we've got Paddy Kirby here. Ross Wood still well and truly doing some great lap times, and then got Robson in the Commodore Cup.
He wasn't expecting him to duck it through there. I think he sort of had to bring it back out of contention.
Yeah.
Or is he slowing down? I'm not sure.
This car here is represents Graham Moore and Wayne Gardner Strathfield Car Radios colours, and Reg, who owns that car, he's from Shepparton and used to have the local Strathfield Car Radios.
Oh, you were saying that earlier,
Yeah.
yes. That was a good little ploy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I guess you could probably, in those days, make it a good tax write-off to advertise your own business on a race car.
Yeah, exactly. So, he's built that car to represent what he had in the day, which is great.
So Wood's still out there in front in the Nissan with the 135.8. Going back to Robson, who's 4.3 seconds behind. And Smith, he's been doing 141. So they're all fairly steady around the 141, 142s, and then a lot of cars doing 144s. Then, so there we go. That time went pretty quickly.
Yeah, it did. Nice, clean event.
And Brett wins the next run for these cars.
Well, look, we're looking at Sandown Historics later in the year.
In November, yeah.
In November, but obviously numbers and you know what room the event has to fit another category in is always something we've got to look at. So, but small steps and more cars are being built, and we'll go from there.
By that stage, you might even have a couple of other cars on the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, how far is your car away from?
Oh, look, probably 6 to 8 months, but you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Accelerate that a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, perhaps Phillip Island. Would you guys get a run of Phillip Island, perhaps?
Yeah, we'll look at that. We've got to obviously speak to the committee members and see where we end up.
Well, if you weren't able to run in this sort of event, would you be able to run in regularity?
Well, that's the other option.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's,
We've also got Shannon's Home and Contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
We all agree now is the right time to start making choices to support Aussie businesses, supporting Aussie families and communities. Well, from their humble beginnings in Melbourne nearly 100 years ago, Penrite now sit as a truly respected global lubricants brand across automotive and industry. And the best bit, it's still 100% owned by an Aussie family that employs Australians in Australian factories right here on Aussie
Nice car,
ground.
those Capris.